I'm Clay Souza. I'm a wedding portrait photographer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and you watch 808 with Clay, where we go live twice a week, every Monday and Wednesday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about photography. Mostly the three pillars to an amazing and desirable photography. Those pillars are lighting, composition, and posing. Always remembering that posing goes hand in hand with directing. Tonight, we also talk about the business of photography sometimes, and tonight we are going to talk about mini sessions. Mother's Day is just around the corner. We're going to talk about how to run successful mini sessions. First, we're going to define what success is, we're going to define goals, and we're going to go through a few steps on how to run successful mini sessions based on your goals, right? So, I hope you enjoy staying here, and if this is the first time here, and if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button and also that bell button so you get notified every time I upload new content to this channel, which is pretty much every day. We are also on Instagram at claysouzaofficial. If you search for us there I post every single day topics about photography. This channel is all about making your photography go to the next level, and I will help you with anything that I can to get you where you want to be. All right, I really thank you for being here, and let's get started. So Jeff, Lake Royale, there you go. So let's talk about mini sessions. Mother's Day is just around the corner, and this is the time when people start looking to do mini sessions, right? And what we need to do, we need to learn how to capitalize on mini sessions, because mini sessions, they sound like something easy to do, but they're really not that easy. It's like you have to have some goals. You have to know what you want to get out of it before you venture on doing mini sessions. And tonight, I want to talk a little bit about what are the goals that you can do mini sessions. I'm going to talk about a little bit of what to watch for when you're doing mini sessions so you don't make some mistakes. We're going to talk about time. We're going to talk about setup. But we're going to focus a lot on the goals. What are your goals? Because depending on your goals, you're going to run mini sessions differently. All right? So let's talk about this a little bit. Goals. What could be your goals mini sessions? Mini sessions are fun. They are like small photo shoots, short photo shoots that, and you provide a limited number of images. And you can use mini sessions either to make money or to add to a portfolio. Let's say your portfolio is lacking some type of genre that you want to shoot, you can use mini sessions for that, and also to get some recognition in the market. So you can use mini sessions to get some recognition in the market. So let's talk about your goals. So let's keep focus on these three goals first. One is to make money. Goal number 2 is to build your portfolio, and goal number 3 is to get recognition in the market in your area. Those are the 3 really, really good goals you need to talk about. I personally don't do a whole lot of mini sessions not because I don't believe in them. I do believe in them, but because it doesn't fit my model. My business model doesn't fit mini sessions, at least not at this point. I have nothing against them. I just have some reservations on how people run mini sessions. Most of the time, what we see is that, I'm going to do a mini session, and you just hope that people are going to find out. Maybe you're going to go to Facebook and do a post and say, hey, this day you're going to run mini sessions, and you put a price, you put time, you put and you add what people are going to get, and you hope that people are going to show up. Guess what? People don't show up for this type of stuff because it needs to be, remember, you're doing mini sessions because it is a good time of the year to do it. There is a date, an important date that's coming up, which is Mother's Day. But remember, most photographers are also doing the same thing, right? So you need to think, how are going people to find my mini session? Why people are going to come to my mini session? a lot of time the answer to this question for people is that price. I'm going to charge a low price for my mini session, and that is the first mistake that people make when they doing mini sessions, because they think I need to get volume, and they lower the price. When you lower every single time in any type of business, I mean, I shouldn't say any type of business, but in photography, every single time that you're competing on pricing, competing on pricing is a race to the bottom, which is the type of race that you don't want to be in it, because there's always going to be somebody that's cheaper than you. With that said, we can also talk about volume photography. If you're doing volume photography, that's different, because you're charging a lower price point, but you're shooting a lot of people. And this is not what the topic of this live is. This live is about mini sessions, and I'm assuming you're not going to shoot a whole lot of mini sessions. Hopefully not, because there are some drawbacks that we're going to talk about later. But if your goal is to make money, you need to structure the mini session well structured. You need probably to have some advertising. You need to spend some money in Facebook ads, because it's hard to make money if you don't spend money. You have to remember, you're running a business. This is a business. It's photography business. That's how we call it. I have a business, but a lot of people say, I do have a business. I'm a business owner, but they don't have the business mindset. And they don't understand that to make money, you need to spend money. This is basic. It's not like I'm going to make all this money and then I'm going to spend money. No, if you don't spend money, you're not going to make all that money. That's plain and simple like that. So if you're shooting mini sessions for money, you need to spend some money on some Facebook ads. But that's when the price point comes in. You can't charge too cheap, because you're going to end up losing money. And if I was doing a mini session today, my mini sessions would run for about 45 minutes with a 15-minute break in between. So I could rest, we could accommodate people who are late, all that type of stuff. We're going to go more into details on that. So if you're shooting for money, remember that you should be spending some money on advertising, bringing people to your mini session, right? And think about a price point that's going to be beneficial to you. Now, when you do a mini session, it's just like, think of a mini session as just like a photo shoot that's shorter in time, right? You're not shooting for 1 hour, hour and a half. Let's say for the sake of this conversation that you're shooting mini session. Actually, Anthony, you booking a mini sessions. Let us know here in the comments, how long is your mini session? Is it half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour? Let us know here in the comment, if you don't mind, how long you run each mini session. So, and I'll keep talking. I'll get back to your comment when you write it down there for us. So let's say that you're running a 45-minute mini session. So that mini session, I would deliver probably, my delivery would be no more than 3 digital files, right? I don't think, so Anthony is doing 45 minutes. Marcio is doing $160 for 15 minutes. This is good. Look at the difference. Anthony is doing 45 minutes. Marcio is doing 15 minutes. And what happens is that I think 45 minutes is a good amount of time, because this allows you to get a bunch of images. 15 minutes, in my opinion, I don't know how that was working for you, if it's the first time, Marcel, that you're doing this, or if you have done this with success, let us know in the comment. But I think 15 minutes is really short. How many images can you get in 15 minutes, right? Although the price point at 160, it's not a really bad price point, because now you can shoot a bunch in 1 day and make, like, if you shoot 10 a day, you get like $1,600 for 15-minute work. That's not bad at all, for 15 minutes each. So, but if you think, I think, like, if you're going to do 15-minute session, I would go for volume. I would go for a bunch of sessions in 1 day. like 8 hours just standing there and boom, 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 shooting all the time. Yeah, the entire day. So that, yeah, then so Marcio is banking on volume, right? So he's doing 15 minutes. He can shoot a lot of them in a day. I mean, if you book a whole day for at $106 point at the 15 minutes, you can shoot a lot of people in 15 minutes. Marcio, let us know, do you put a break in between sessions? What's your do you have a break, or you just go like one after another, just keep popping them over and over? Let me know here in the comments. That's why I like the 45 minutes, because I would have like 15-minute break to stop and refresh a little bit. Okay, because it gets tiring. I mean, towards the end of the day, you're probably sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. But if you're shooting this for money, what I would advise you is to give no more than 3 images. And 3 images, in my mind here, thinking about it, is already too much. But let's keep 3 images. So because then you can bring them back to IPS. So your goal, if you're trying to make money, you're talking about money here, right? So you want to bring them back to do IPS and try to sell more than what you offer. Because if you're doing like 15, half an hour, 45-minute session and give them all the digitals, and if you're charging $200, whatever it is, that's how you're going to get $200. Right? So you always want to try to get a little bit more. Maybe sell a little album. Maybe have like a little black book album, a small, cheap, like maybe not album, but printed books have the soft pages. Those are really cheap. Maybe something like that. To how do you upsell? Because when you're trying to make money, you need to think of ways to upsell. You're always upselling in a way or another. So this is if you're making money. So I would say half an hour to 45 minutes preferably, where you can shoot more images, and then give them 3 images, bring them back to do an IPS, in-person sales, and then you upsell. You have to have your and then you're going to go back all the way, things that we talked about in the past year, samples, having samples. People do not buy what they don't see. And you have samples, and give it to them, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to make some money. So let me see what Marcio is saying here. Marcio, do like 15-minute break, book morning time slots, 2 hours break for lunch, and book afternoon. Yeah. So in fact, when you say like 15 minutes, it's actually half an hour, because 15 minutes you are idle, but you're still there, right? You're not shooting. But that's a great strategy. If you can book a whole day like that, you're going to make some money. Yeah, you're not going to have a whole lot of images to bring them back to IPS, probably. It's something that's not going to be worth doing IPS for, because if you don't have a lot of images, you don't. It's really hard to sell. And how many images can you get in 15 minutes? Images that are different, that are unique. So that's a little bit tricky. But Marcio is banking on volume, so he's going to go 15-minute slots and with a 15-minute break all day long. And he's saying he does Christmas and Easter, right? Are you doing Mother's Day? Marcio, you doing Mother's Day? So Christmas and Easter. That's what he said he's doing here. And no IPS. He's not going for the IPS. He's going to the shoot and burn model, which is fine. For mini session, I think it's just fine. Now, if so you see 5 images in 15 minutes, 5 images, that's how they're going to get. I mean, how many more images are you going to get in 15 minutes, right? I think that's it could be a successful model. I will actually, Marcio, be very interested how because you did Easter, right? You said you did Easter. How did the Easter go? Did you have good sales? Did you book a lot? If you don't mind telling us how many you booked, was it successful for you? Because this is all about learning, and because I don't do a whole lot of mini sessions and never done the 15-minute model, I'm interested in learning a little bit about that. They get 5 images, so you haven't done the Easter yet. But Easter is over, right? So you're going to do Easter next year. Okay. Christmas is usually a big deal. So one thing that I would say that I have here on my notes is actually, let me go back, keep it on my goals so I don't get confused. This is the goal to make money, right? Goal to make money is you have to do IPS, deliver, create some beautiful image, but give them few images, like 3 images, 2 images, and bring them back to IPS so you can upsell all the images. You can upsell an album, you can upsell all the kind of stuff. And stop thinking that, I know that a lot of you are thinking, oh, nobody's going to buy anything. If you over there on the other side of the screen, if you don't believe in what you sell, nobody will believe in it. Selling is a lot of mindset. You have to have the mindset of a salesperson, and stop thinking that sales needs to be sleazy and tricky and sneaky. No, you can be transparent. You can be you should be transparent. You should be real. You should be truthful to what you sell, and you're going to have good sales. You build a reputation like that. It doesn't have, because every time you talk about sales, people are like, oh, I'm going to be that sleazy salesman. You don't have to do that. We sell every single day. You don't know this, but you're selling yourself every single day. Every time my wife, Danny, and I disagree on which restaurant we're going to have dinner, I'm selling my idea to her. Every time, if you have another job, every time you go to your boss asking for a pay raise, you're selling yourself. We sell all the time. We're always negotiating. We negotiate all the time. We negotiate which route to take from point A to point B. We negotiate where to park. We negotiate where you're going to have dinner. We negotiate where you're going to spend our vacation time. So we negotiate all the time. Sales is not any different than that. Don't think you're not a salesman, because you are. You just don't know it. Okay? So Marcia said we got like 8 families for Christmas. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Can scale a little bit more. If you do some Facebook ads and create some really good marketing, you can scale, because 15 minutes, 8 sessions, you have a lot of time in your hands to do this. It's like half a day. Like if you shoot 15 minutes and rest for 15 minutes, you have half a day. You still have another 4 or 5 hours here to shoot, especially because I know you live in a warm weather, so you can push that a little bit. So this is your goal. If you're building portfolio, it's important. Let me go back here a little bit. It's important to have a goal, because you're going to run your mini sessions and your ads differently depending on your goal. You can't go, well, I'm going to do this for my portfolio, but I also try to sell. That's not going to work. You're not going to do neither well. Focus on something. Mini sessions are great if you want to build a portfolio. Just put a Facebook ad there, say, hey guys, I'm trying to create, I want to experiment with some free, some new photography techniques and posing. I'm looking for, let's say, if you're trying to build an engagement portfolio. Fair enough, engagement portfolio. I would put an ad, something like that. Hey guys, I'm trying to, I want to experiment with new photography techniques that I learned in a conference, and I want to try new lighting, and I need X, and give like a number. I need like 10 couples, 10 engaged couples who would like to have a mini session with me. You're gonna get 1 or 2 or 3 images for free, and that's pretty much it. And you just list what they're gonna get and list what the requirements are. The requirements are, you need to be engaged. You need to allow me to use your pictures on social media and on my portfolio, and you should be wanting to have fun, because this is going to be a lot of fun. So be willing to try different things and have fun every day. Bring good energy. These are the requirements. So anybody will fall for that, because they're not paying anything and they're going to get great images. So this is for portfolio, which works the same way as the volume is too high. Can you turn the volume down on your phone, on your computer or something? I don't know where you are. Where was I? So yeah, and if you're doing for recognition, it's the same thing. If you're doing like to validate yourself in the market, to get exposure in the market, it's the very same thing, the very same idea as you doing your portfolio, right? You can run the same ad, and you can do mini session for high school seniors. You can do mini session for engagement session for family, but have it clear stated what the requirements are, the dates, and what they're gonna get, so you don't get into situations that you said this and you're delivering that, because that's going to generate a bad review online, and a bad review online can hurt your business, can and will hurt your business. So that's why it's important to have a goal. Before doing mini sessions, you need to go and say what my goal is, instead of I'm going to do a mini session and just jump on it, because it's not going to work. You need to plan it, all right? One thing that I have in my notes here, I have a few notes here that I wrote. One thing that I have here is be careful not to do mini sessions frequently. People learn your behavior. People talk to other people, because you create those amazing images, and Susie is going to look at Sarah's image and going to say, when Sarah starts posting her images on Facebook, oh, Sarah, your pictures are amazing. Who did your pictures for you? Oh, this was Clay from Photos by Clay, and he has mini sessions every month. Well, guess what? Everybody's going to come for you for your mini sessions. Nobody will want to pay your full price. Remember, mini sessions are something out of the curve, some exceptions, like special dates, like Valentine's Day, or Mother's Day, or Christmas, Easter, right? So things that are special dates, when you can do that. Don't try to do mini sessions too often. Otherwise, you're going to be labeled in your market as a cheap photographer. And that is hard to go back to a regular price. Because why, if you're doing one mini session every month, why are they going to pay a full price? They just wait for the mini session to come around and book you for the mini session. So be careful how often you do that. If I was going to do mini session, I would do probably like Valentine's Day and Christmas. That would be it. I mean, Easter is a good idea because of kids, and maybe not even Valentine's Day. I don't know. You have to think about it. But maybe Valentine's Day, Easter, and Christmas. And I'm talking about Easter because you can do like a egg hunting type of stuff with kids. And you know, if you have, I don't have kids, but if you have kids, you know that parents buy anything that the kids look cute. We can have like little bunny outfits, little bunny ears for the kids. Make the kid look cute. The parent will buy the picture. How about that? They'll buy 11 by 14. They'll buy a 16 by 24. You never know. If you don't try, you never know. This is all about trying the market. Okay, so just be careful not to run mini sessions too often. Otherwise, you're going to be labeled as a cheap photographer, the mini session guy, mini session girl, and nobody will pay your full price. Okay, so we talked about having 45, not another topic I have noted here, and we have already talked about it. It doesn't matter how long you do this, always put some break in between. That's one of the reasons why, if I was doing a mini session, I would go to 45 minutes with a 15-minute break in between. Why do you need a break to put in there? We need a break there because number one, you need a break. And number two, people will get late. The people will be late. You need to figure out a way to manage. You don't want two people at the same time. It gets confusing, gets complicated, especially if they have kids. It gets complicated. So I would avoid that. So what I would do is 45 minutes with a 15-minute break, or half an hour with a 20-minute break, something like that. Also, it's important. Edwin, how are you? So it's important to know, to understand that if people are late, let's say if you run a 45 minute, right? And if they are 15 minutes late, don't try to do 45 minutes. If they are 15 minutes late, the session became half an hour. You need to have an end time. So if they start at 2 in the afternoon, it's going to end at 2:45. If they arrive at 2:15, we will end at 2:45. If they arrive at 2:30, it will end at 2:45. Because if you start pushing time, your last client will get upset with you because now you are half an hour late for their session. Got it? So end time. The end time is always going to end in the 45 minutes. So if you're doing 45 minutes, it always ends on the 45 minutes of the hour, right? So if you do 2 o'clock, 2:45. 3 o'clock, 3:45. No matter what the time they arrive. If they're late, it's their problem, not your problem. As long as you communicate this ahead of time. As long as you communicate directions well, you make sure that everybody knows where they're going, they can come back to you and say, well, I got late here because you never sent me the directions how to get here. I didn't know the location. I had to call you for the location. Then you're going to get into a gray area where whose fault is it? Really not their fault if they don't know where to go, right? So make sure you have your ducks lined up. Everybody has the right information. Confirm with them, guys, the night before, 2 nights before, you know where you're going, this is what it is, and everybody says, yeah, ask for confirmation on an email. Don't go verbal, because this verbal here doesn't, you can't prove anything that you say. If it's written, it's provable, right? You can prove it. So always go for the written conversation. Even if you talk on the phone, even if you close a mini session or any type of photo shoot for that matter on the phone, send them an email right away with everything that you talked about and ask them a confirmation. Ask them to reply back, hey, let me know if you got this email and if you agree with everything that we talked about on the phone. Once they say, yes, I got it, yes, I agree with it, you're safe there. As long as you do everything that you promised. We do this in our business. Every time Dani is the one who does the client communication. Every time she talks to a client, because like tomorrow we have a consultation over the phone, something that we don't like doing, but some people, it's hard for them to get here to have a face-to-face. We're going to have a consultation over the phone. We're going to talk over the phone. We're going to take notes after the call. Then it types an email, hey, this is what we talked about on the phone. Let me know if everything is okay. Let me know if you agree with what we talked about. Let me know if I forgot something. And they will agree, and then you go. Okay? So watch out for that. Another thing that I want to touch here, if you do setups, do not spend a whole lot of money on those setups. So I had a photographer, like, I think last year, talking about doing mini session. She spent way too much money on the setup. At the end of the day, she got like a bunch of people. She got some great images, but she didn't make money because most of the money that she made had to go back to pay for the setup that she did. Do a simple setup. Look at a dollar store. Look at thrift store for ideas. Look at Pinterest. Use Pinterest boards as your mood boards, your ideas for you to create your mini session setup, and then look for cheap stuff to build those things. Don't go spending money like crazy because there's not a whole lot of money in mini sessions. Okay? So we talk about goals, we talk about time, we talked about don't do too often, we talked about the time, we talked about the goal, we talked about the Facebook ads. I always believe that mini sessions are something fun, something really cool to do, and special dates, I would say yes, go for it, especially if you are a beginner photographer, if you're starting right now, and if you don't, hold on just 1 second. If you are on Instagram, please hop into YouTube. The live now is on YouTube, youtube.com, claysouzaofficial. We're talking about mini sessions, so just hop over there. You don't need to be logged in. Just go there, find our channel, and click on the live button, and you're going to be here with us. Okay? So, I do believe mini sessions are great for people who getting started, get their feet wet on photography. And as a photographer, you should also use mini sessions to improve on some areas that you're lacking. What do I mean by that? We all lack of something, be it lighting, be it posing, be it directing, be it composition. So use those mini sessions to work on your weak spots, because the sessions, the difference between a mini session and a full session, the mini session is cheap. You have a little bit of leverage for mistakes like that. You can make some mistakes here and there. People are not going to be that, I mean, of course, and again, we always try not to make mistakes. At least not a lot of them. But people are not going to be as upset if they pay $150, $100 for a session, then it is some type of mistake in there with one or two pictures, than if they pay $400, $500, $600 for a session and there are mistakes, right? So the entry point level, the entry point price is low enough. So this is a really great opportunity for you to work on some of your weak spots. How would I do that? Was me. I would identify something that I'm weak. Let's say composition is my weaknesses, right? So I need to improve my composition. So what I would do, I would focus on composition on my mini session. This would be my internal goal. I would not verbalize this. I would say, I want to compose, I want to get better in composition, and I'm going to try to create some images that have some rule of thirds sometimes, or the golden spiral as a composition element. All of those type of stuff that create good composition. Oh, I'm going to try to shoot through some flowers. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to work on my framing, on my composition. This is your internal goal. And each couple that comes through, each group of people who come through for a mini session, you can work on one of those things. Let's say your weaknesses is posing. Okay, now I'm going to work on posing females. I'm going to focus on posing females. I'm going to focus on posing couples during the mini session. These are great for you to get better as a photographer, right? Even if you're not looking to make money with it, right? Like as a portfolio, or even like to get established in the market. These are all good ideas, so you can take more. The whole idea here, guys, is how can I take more? How can I get more from my mini sessions? So I gave you goals for your business, like making money, build portfolio, or generate a track for yourself as a photographer, get recognized in the market as a photographer. And I also gave you goals as a photographer, how to work on your weaknesses when you're doing those mini sessions. Because the truth is, we all have weaknesses. We all need to learn something. Photography, what's great, I mean, well, it's a blessing and a curse, because we always learn something new. That's what makes it exciting, but at the same time, it makes it very taxing. We always have to learn something with photography. And mini sessions are great ways for you to tackle some of your weaknesses. But the first thing you need to do is to recognize where you are weak, because we photographers, you do it, I do it, I think every photographer does it. We know where we are weak, but we don't want to work on those things, right? It's hard. We would much rather work on something that we are comfortable with than work on our weaknesses. And you know, and when you get into that mindset, you stop improving. You go back to the same behavior and you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And as you know, I'm always talking about photography that is amazing and desirable. And an amazing and desirable photography should have the least amount of mistakes that you can get. Every time I'm shooting, when I'm shooting my wide image, the image that I sell, the big wall art that I sell, I'm looking for details. I'm really anal about details. I'm like, okay, what's this? Okay, is the horizon line crossing your head? Where are they looking? Is there too much white on the eye? I mean, those are little details. When you look at the back of your camera, you're not going to realize. But when you blow that picture up to a 24 by 36, to a 30 by 40, to a 50 by 60, you know, you're going to notice that, right? So when you look in the back of your camera, you need to see, okay, what are the details here? Every time I'm creating my environmental portraits, that's how I call them, I'm always blowing the image 100% on camera with the client by my side, and I'm going through the details quickly to see how can I make the image better. This is what makes the difference. Details. The devil is on the details. All right? So, do you guys have any questions, any comments? Because I talked a lot. I just talked straight. I don't know what happened today. I'm always talking a lot. But today I was like, I felt like I talked a lot. Do you guys have any questions for me? No more questions. So look like you don't have any more questions. So this is how I have to talk about to you tonight. If you're not going to do a mini session on the Mother's Day, take this live. This live is going to be available on YouTube in a few minutes, and go back here and watch it again. I will do some editing, cutting the beginning of it, make it a little bit shorter for you. Go back and watch it, and if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also our Instagram channel at claysouzaofficial, because over there on Instagram, I'm posting every single day. And here, I'm always posting also any video that goes in here, goes on my Instagram, and vice versa. But on Instagram, I have way more content because I'm uploading static content all the time. So, claysouzaofficial on Instagram, and here on YouTube, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel, because you will not regret. This is all about creating amazing and desirable photography. Okay? Thank you so very much, guys, for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you being here every week with me, every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I appreciate each one of you. You don't even imagine how excited I get every time I do a live, because I know you guys are going to be here. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to send me a DM, either on Instagram, or make a comment here on this video. That I monitor this every day. I get notified every time somebody comments, something happens. I will reply to it. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week, and keep an eye on the channels, because we're going to be doing some really cool stuff that I have planned coming down the pike towards, I'm not going to tell you when, but keep an eye on Instagram and YouTube, because there's going to be some news here for you. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you next week on Monday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time, at 8:08 with Clay. Bye.